Pottery. Yeah, it's pretty old. In fact, it's the oldest handicraft in the world, and it can be traced back to prehistoric times. Pottery was originally used to make containers for food and water, but since it was built up from a clay base, none of it turned out that great. Until about 5,000 years ago, when the pottery wheel was born, and with it, perfectly symmetrical pottery. Since then, there's been many versions of the pottery wheel, both hand and foot powered. Now, most potters use an electric wheel, but there is one who's giving our oldest craft a new spin. Danica Drago's pedal potter is an innovative example of making art interactive. People are invited to power the machine by pedaling their bike, which turns the throwing wheel. While Danica is ultimately creating the clay object, the speed of the wheel is determined by the cyclist, so the process is a true collaboration.
I'm Danica Drago. I'm an artist of many kinds. I work with clay mostly, but I also work with different sculptural elements. It's kind of hard to explain what I do because I kind of work with a lot of different things.
Well, let's start by explaining what exactly I'm sitting on right now.
Yeah, so this is a machine I like to call pedal potter. It's an interactive bicycle-powered machine where basically you're driving this potter's wheel, and then I'm going to be throwing something on here, but we need to communicate to figure out like how fast to go and kind of like shape the piece, so you're directly involved in whatever process I have going down here.
I think it's genius. I have never seen pottery done this way before. Where did you get the idea for it?
Well, I fix bicycles, and I'm involved with a bike shop not too far from here called Bike Pirates, where we do a lot of DIY bicycle education. And so I'm familiar with the mechanics of a bicycle, and then kind of started off as like an issue of need. Like I needed a wheel once I left school, and I figured I'm like, oh, well, I'll just build one. And a big part of this was kind of taking these kind of mysterious behind-the-scenes processes in the studio outside into different spaces, activating different parts of the community, and also kind of getting people involved that have never worked with clay before or never kind of have seen how things are made and how things are done. That was kind of always the biggest focus, which is why I kind of wanted it to be a face-to-face interaction.
And do you find the pieces are influenced by the person who's riding the bike at the time?
Totally, yeah. So your change in speed will directly affect how the piece is kind of formed, and so things can kind of go any which way.
Do you find people are totally surprised to see that you can make art this way?
Yeah, it's great because when you're sitting there, you can actually directly see what's happening, and a lot of people will come up and just like, they're super in awe and excited about like seeing something like this happening because they're familiar with like throwing on a ceramics wheel or pottery in the most basic sense, but they've never seen anything kind of like this.
Yeah, it's so unique, and you're bringing the art to the people, and actually you're not just bringing it to them, you are giving them the ability to make their own art. I think it's genius.
I really dig the lo-fi handmade nature of this. It's great. I love that this is the kind of art that anyone can be a part of, kids, adults, even me.
That's perfect.
Yeah, when I heard about it, I thought it was going to be hard, but it's actually just like riding a bike.
I think we're good.
Wow, okay.
So now we're going to take it off the wheel, and we just pull this right through, and then the water gets sucked underneath, and then it slides right off.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then I don't have to touch it at all.
The clay is on its way.
Clay is done. Nice. Ta-da.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's really cool to see artists like Danica take their art outside of the studio to share the process with us. In a way, it's more about community and collaboration than the final product. And this way, everybody gets to enjoy a little exercise too.